Let's talk about them titties.
Yes,
They
yes.
got a lot bigger.
That was the funny thing, because last time when I rewatched the interview, I remember texting Lena. It was like, oh my God, I feel like I was really boring, because we were mostly talking about like me starting a business, and I feel like most of the
really
girls that go
interesting.
on the show are talking about like, here's this crazy story of me,
And
like,
look,
you know,
they can skip
and I
the
was like,
conversation
I'm
if
so
they want,
boring.
but
Yeah.
we, that's very, very interesting
Yeah.
to me.
Yeah,
And
exactly.
to
And
me,
you're the host, so you get to
a
decide.
woman knowing that she has been capable of creating a successful business, I mean, that's just gearing me up to want to fuck her more, right?
Oh, I like that.
Yeah,
I
right?
like that. You like powerful women, clearly.
Exactly.
Because you have a very powerful
The
woman.
most powerful.
Wait, did you
But
have
my
these
tits,
last time though?
no, I
No.
didn't. So I spent most of my porn career with natural boobs,
Mm-hmm.
which if I could go back and change something, people are like, do you have any regrets? And they think I'm going to like dish something really serious. I'm like, I wish I got fake tits earlier. 'Cause I
What took
think-
you so long?
Okay, it's kind of funny. And I know it's going to sound like I'm lying, and I hate when I say this because it makes me sound full of myself, which I'm not, or something. Well, first of all, for a while, I really, everybody loved I had very big, perky natural C's.
Mm-hmm.
And, people liked them, and I always, people always complimented them. So I just never thought, hey, I need fake boobs. I don't know. But then
And
after
the
a while,
stigma back in the day too. Don't you feel like when I was growing up, I felt like, or even my early 20s and stuff, it was like fake boobs were so much more rare and they were so much more slutty in my mind. Whereas now I consider them very fucking normal.
oh, everybody has them now.
Yeah.
Yeah. And especially we grew up in like the punk scene. Like nobody had big fake boobs.
Yeah, wait,
Like,
you have
what?
$5,000
Like,
to
that
get
was- yeah,
plastic
like, that
surgery?
was-
Like, no.
That was unheard of, you
Yeah.
know. Now, like everyone, like
Right.
your waitress at Applebee's has plastic surgery.
Well,
Like, you know what I mean? Now it's like very. Also, it was way more than it was way.
Oh,
I
back
felt
in the
like
day it was more
only-
expensive?
I mean, I even just watching that Pamela Anderson documentary, like it was so rare.
It was such a
Yeah,
big deal. She
yeah.
had, and
Such a
she
big deal.
denied it and
Yeah,
lied about
yeah.
it over
That's
and
true.
over and over.
Like it was this thing that people would talk. Now everybody has fake boobs, but whatever, Anyway,
When I moved out here and started meeting dudes at the skate park and just realizing that their moms were like 40 and that they had fake
They had
boobs,
fake- like,
I'm
everyone
like,
has
okay,
fake
that's just the
boobs.
culture
Yeah.
out here. In New York
Yeah,
or
it's
on the
way more
East
normal.
Coast, it's so much more rare. But when did you actually
but then
get them? When did you
as
start
I
thinking
got
about it?
older, like I just felt like I wanted bigger boobs. Okay, so then I went to three different plastic surgeons in Beverly Hills, all like who had done work on and friends of mine whose boobs I really liked. This was probably around like 2017 is when I was first like, I want boobs. I'm going to start like looking into this, 2018 maybe. And three different surgeons all said no. They literally did. They all said your boobs are too perfect and I don't
What?
want to cut them open. And
Wow, these guys
That's
are not
insane.
hustlers.
I
They
don't
didn't want to make
know.
money, right?
I was like, I want to pay you to. I'm like, I realize they're nice, but I would like them to be larger. And and I like your work. They're still gonna look at. One of them was like, I'm not gonna recommend it, and I don't want to do it. But the biggest I could even fit in there is like a 250 cc, which is not worth doing. And I was like, no, if I do them, I want to go as big as I can. So I had to leave the LA area. I was like, I need somebody who's just not going to care
Yeah,
and take
Tijuana.
my money.
Wow.
I know, right? I wound up finding a doctor whose work I did really like, and he was in like the Inland Empire. So the good thing was they were a lot cheaper. And then and he even said too, I really don't recommend you do this, but I'll do it.
What
And
made
then
you so
he
certain that
said-
you wanted to do it?
I just, it's like also at the time, it's like my boobs were nice natural C's, but I was always wearing like bras to push them together. It's almost like, it's like in my brain, they were already there, I just kind of like, I don't know. I think as I got older, I just,
What
I always
happened with
looked
your
up to Elvira, I wanted to be like a living version of her. I don't know. And everyone who I was like, every other, woman that I was really attracted to seemed to just have really big boobs, whether they were natural or not natural.
Yeah.
I just kind of like.
Did your
Also-
fans have a weird reaction since you had natural for
here's the
so
thing.
long?
Everybody said, oh, your fans, you're going to lose fans, you're going to do this, you're going to lose this. And like, I also started to notice that all my fans, when I would be like, who are your other favorites? They were always girls with big fake boobs too. Like it's kind of, I think with the tattoos, I never really fell into that like all natural, girl next door category. And
Listen, if we're talking about like regular girls, never in my life have I seen a girl get fake tits and get less attention from men.
I
They
know.
always get like 60%
Right.
more attention from men.
Right. And then it's kind of funny because everyone's like, well, don't do it for other people, do it for yourself. It's like, well, they are tits. This isn't like a like
Yeah.
you do want other people to like
And you
them.
are a
you
porn
know?
star,
It's a
so-
weird thing.
It's an
like,
asset.
Yeah, it's like do it for yourself as if no one's gonna see them. I'm like, this isn't like going on a hike in Costa Rica.
And
or
as if you don't
something.
have
This
all
is
these
like
people
getting
paying for the
tits,
content
you know? Like,
of
this
you,
is-
you know, at a certain point,
Yeah.
it kind of is like, yeah, you know, like it makes sense to do something
Right.
for them too.
Yeah,
as
it's
well,
like
right?
for me and for them is kind of the same. I don't know. It's
So
just a funny thing
your-
people tell you. But
Your
then,
fan base grew, basically?
it did grow, or I think it actually made my fans like me more. It was almost like doing stuff on my own OnlyFans. So kind of funny. I did wind up getting my boobs done in February of 2020.
Okay, right when the
Not
pandemic
knowing
hit.
that but it was before. It was when like COVID was kind of like a ha ha ha. Like, have you heard of this funny thing?
February was,
you know,
yeah.
it was like I think in the beginning of February. You know,
February
where-
2020 was when I was listening to podcasts and people were talking about it like a big deal, and I was listening to it like, what the
like
fuck
yeah,
are they
like these
talking
people
about?
are crazy.
And then,
like
like,
people are like
a
the
week
world's gonna
later-
shut
yeah,
down.
a week later,
it
my
went
whole
from a
schedule was
joke to a
canceled.
not joke. Yeah, and so it was kind of funny because I actually remember, you know, the recovery and whatever, and I loved them so much when I got them. I was like not regretting that decision at all. I was only regretting not doing it sooner. It's like I put on outfits and I was like, this is what I wanted to look like.
Yeah.
And I finally look like it. I didn't have to buy new clothes or anything. It's almost like the clothes just started fitting me the way I wanted them to fit me. You know, like this, where they don't really fit. And like, and then it was kind of funny because I had like plans to do like a big like reveal scene for like, you know,
Right.
for different companies and like blah 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 blah. And then literally I remember the day I kind of like put out it was like in the middle of March, and I was probably, you know,
Drunk.
it was like just healed,
Yeah.
you
a
know, but
little
I was so
early.
excited to show them to the world. The world shut down. I had my first like reveal scene ready, like scheduled to shoot, and that is the day the world shut down.
Oh my God.
So it was like kind of funny to go from like recovering from, you know, not seeing anyone, from like recovering from boobs to like
But that's wild
So then,
because
yeah,
we
so
look
then-
at the COVID days as like, oh, that was probably like the best that the business will ever
right.
be.
But
Yeah.
that was also, you know, from like, you know, I know we didn't catch up on my story. I was very much like owning a studio girl. I didn't do anything on OnlyFans. So that was
Oh,
kind of
no.
like, I guess I'll do
Oh.
my boob reveal on OnlyFans, which at the time was a very like,
Oh.
not like a thing that I heard other people made money off of, but I didn't really. It was like a very
Okay,
like,
so you're like kind of late to the
yeah, I
the
was like,
party a
I was
little
like,
bit.
well, let me try it, and it was like a very funny. I was like, hey everyone, well, like the world shut down, so I'm gonna post a video, like just a few, you know, whatever of my new boobs here, and I like went to bed that night, and woke up the next day with, like.
It blew up.
An insane
overnight.
amount
That's
of
a
money.
great way to launch your
Yeah.
OnlyFans. Is be like,
It was like a very strange. It was like, wow, I woke up and I thought I was dreaming when I looked at the amount of money that I made overnight.
Really?
I was like, wait, what?
in
I
hindsight, it was probably better for you, right, than doing it for like a big company.
Yeah. I mean, look, a lot of things. I was in a funny transitional period anyway because I had recently sold my studio and wasn't really sure what I was doing anyway.
Yeah.
I don't know. It was like a funny, like, I was like, oh, okay. And it was also a funny, like, to all the people that said, you're going to lose fans, your fans won't care. And look, I don't know if it just happened because it was COVID or it was the boobs or it was whatever, but I don't know. I mean, I had tried to plug my OnlyFans a bunch of times before and would be like, hey, you know, because so many people had said they made so much money off it and it didn't really like take off
No,
for
but
me.
we've
But
seen that
you know,
with we know like a bunch of girls who are like very famous porn stars that over the years we kind of found out how much they made on OnlyFans and was like, oh, that's not quite as much as we thought it would be because they already have so much content out
Right.
there and maybe they don't necessarily have that super strong connection with the fans. So it's like it is kind of like a different level of
I think I
connection.
had to rebrand at that point, or I don't know, whatever it was, it all worked.
Yeah.
And so it really like, it like changed my life, you know? It was like from that point on, I was like, wow, well, I guess this is where I'm going to put all my energy now, you know? So I spent, all of COVID, but learning about OnlyFans, I was like, this is my, because I also know from being in the industry for a very long time, making that amount of money overnight is rare and special. And like, I was like, this is something okay. So all these new fans joined. I need to like know what these fans want, and I'm going to give them what they want. And I'm going to treat this like a business the way I treated my studio like a business. And I'm going to take this seriously and whatever. But then, yes, to get back to where we started, that was in 2020. And then after, I don't know, a few years, I decided I want them a little bigger, like everyone. So in August, I made them bigger.
Right. And what was the thought process there? You just felt like they weren't really
okay.
up to
So here's
snuff?
the thing. I felt like it was like they were big boobs, but every time I was next to a girl with big boobs, they didn't feel like big boobs. I felt like
I've seen her
if there's
in that
anything
position, yeah.
about me in my whole life, it's I hate going halfway about anything. I am like 100% or 0 about everything in my life, whatever it is.
But if you use that standard, then you're never going to feel like your boobs are big enough. Because
I know. No, now I know they're big enough.
Okay,
in fact,
because you're
for a
very
little while,
petite. You're like a very, very
this is
petite
it.
girl.
We're not going any bigger than this,
Okay, they look amazing.
Yeah, and it was kind of funny. I felt like I was like, well, now I just feel like my boobs are like big, but not really big. And I was like, and I want them